Now, if you've watched this show before, you know these are colors I'm not Miss Pink person. Okay, here comes a good one. Something unexpected in the shadows. I like to put unexpected things everywhere. I don't know, you ever remember being a kid and playing with the shadows on the wall and doing little birds? Hi, welcome to Give Your Wall Some Soul. I'm Shannon Grissom. Today we're going to be working on the quality of light as it hits outdoor objects, and in this case it's a dinner bell, a cowbell. So there's definitely some red in here, something to get excited about, but today it's all about how the light hits something and that creates form. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because this is going to be a fast-moving show. All right, let's start with the bell. And what I'm going to do is create a light, medium, and dark shade of green to start getting the form in. And normally, you start from the back. Traditionally, when you start a painting, you start from the back and move forward, or you go from left to right in some sort of logical manner. But it's kind of like how you eat Oreos. Some people, take the middle out. Some people eat the whole thing at once, and I'm going for my favorite part first, and that would be the bell. So I'm going to mix this right away. That's a beautiful phthalo turquoise on the dark side with a bit of white. I love Oreos. Ooh, that's gorgeous. Now that's a little too bright. I've got to tone that down. Imagine that, me toning something down. Okay, yeah, let's see how bright that is. Woof. Yeah, it's a little too blue and a little too bright. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in some sap green. That'll actually warm it up and gray it down. What do we have here? Ooh, that's gorgeous. That might be a good mid-tone. That was sure an easy way to get there. Okay, let me take a look at this, see what I think. Yeah, that's a good mid-tone. I'm going to need a little darker shade, so I'll move some of this over. Take some straight tube color, this time no white. Move some of that over. That's a nice dark. I think it's too cold, so I'm going to add a little red to it. And why am I adding red? Not just because it's my favorite color, but because it's opposite on the color wheel. It's going to warm up a little bit. And I'll grab just a little bit cad red light. There we go. So there's a dark, there's a medium. We'll worry about the light a little bit later. Let's just start painting. Some people pre-mix everything they're doing right away. And I don't have that kind of patience. Okay, I'm looking for the perfect brush. And with all these brushes here, you'd think it would just come out and say, here. But I'm looking for the right size. And I want something this is a good one. Why is it good? It's a good stiff brush, but it's not big enough. So I'm going to have to find one a little bit bigger. There we go. You always want to use the biggest brush you can use that you're comfortable with. Okay, so I dipped it in a little bit of medium. And I'm just going to pretty much outline this right here on this side. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it down. think I had too much medium. Actually, I know I had too much medium. So that's all right. I'll just pick up some more paint and move it over here. That's pretty. Like that green. All right, so am I seeing it that in the picture? Is it that dark over on that side? No. But I'm going to exaggerate this because it'll make a better painting. So you know what a thing does, but then some of the exaggeration works better in a painting than it does in the photo. Okay, so I'll move a little bit over here, a little bit further. Then I'm going to take some of this other mixture. I'm just going to wipe my brush slightly. If I can ever get the paper towel out of here. Hang on. Okay. So I'm using a dirty brush. I still want some paint on it. And I'm going to go into this medium tone. I'm not going to add medium to it, medium to the medium tone. And I'll put this right next to that darker color. I kind of blend as I go. I see a little bit of red up there. I'm going to add that later too. Can't wait. That'll be fun. Kind of has a little bit of shadow right down here. It's not an exact science. Close enough is good in this case. Now I'm going to sneak up on just, I've been scrubbing it in pretty vigorously so far. And what does this shadow do? It kind of comes down like this. And then as I get over into this dark side, I'm going to blend it here. And what happened was, because I used too much medium, see, this is how you correct something. That was not on purpose to put that much medium over there. So what happened was, it's too transparent. So I'm going to have to take I'm going to mix this all together and blend it all together and add some more over the top. You can skip this step if you didn't put in too much medium, but sometimes you just have to say whatever and figure out a way around it. Okay, so what did I just do? Because I was like attacking the canvas. I went back into the dark with the dirty brush, and I'm going to put this over on this edge here. That's nice. And so when I first place it down, I'm pressing pretty hard, but when I get to these edges, I don't have that much pressure. No pressure, just lightly blending it. Okay, and I'm going to move on. Now I could spend an hour just putting every nuance in this bell itself, but I really want to give you a sense of the whole. So I'm going to stop. I'll go ahead and add the medium and the light. And before I forget though, because I know I'll forget later, I'm going to put that little dark edge under the bottom, and I'm going to just grab some straight Carbazole Violet. Why? Well, it needs dark under there, and I love purple. And that's straight, dark, cool color. Well, pretty cool. All right, so how does this, it's just kind of gets a little wider here. Doesn't have to be a perfect shape. Also covers up the nice little pencil line. This is yet another subject out from the Init Tres Pinos. Got great things to paint out there. Okay, I like that. That's it. Got to leave that alone. All right, so we've gone, what, a whole 5 minutes, and we have not put any red in the painting, so we've got to do that. We get another paper towel. Okay, I already have paint all over me. You know it's going to be a good session when I've got it this messy this early on. Okay, We need some red. And I saw some red right at the tip of the bell. So I'm just going to go right into some straight red and just put it right up here. Just a little blob. There. Now I can paint. And there's just a little tiny bit, but it's going to add some character. All right. So we need a medium green. God, this reminded me. I just saw this, having the green paint everywhere. I had a student one time, Jeffrey, and whenever he used green, boy, he got it all over everything. Okay, that's a nice medium. He did beautiful work. That's a good medium. Did you notice, because I didn't say anything before I did it, I went and grabbed a little bit of Cad Yellow Deep. Just a little bit of this warm color in here to liven it up. We're getting closer to the light, so it needs to be warmer. Yeah, this is good for right next to it. Again, I'm going to use a dirty brush. That'll help the transition. I wipe it pretty clean. No medium. I'm thinking I might, when I move over a little bit, I'm going to get a cleaner brush. But for this blending part, that's good. And I'm just applying a little bit of pressure as I blend these together so it doesn't have a hard edge. I like the softer edges. This whole show is going to be about different textures and different edges. It's going to be wonderful. It's not just a light. There's a lot of great texture here. Okay, I'm going to get a cleaner brush. And that will look lighter. Not that much lighter, huh? So I'm going to grab some white. It's funny how you hear people in your head. You hear your teachers when you're painting, the different directors that you've had over the years. And so it's like you get instruction even when you're by yourself. And you're going to lock me up because I'm hearing voices here. Okay, that's lighter. That's good. Not that much difference, is it? Well then, I'm just going to grab some straight white. So if I added more white to this mixture, I could add a whole pile and it wouldn't do anything. So I'm just going to move most of that over, leave a little bit here, there, and add to it. That's better. Otherwise, I'd never, well, I need a little more. Never get it light enough. And when I first started painting, I'd have this pile, and I'd use a whole tube of white to get the right color. Okay, that's better. That's nice. I'll move this over here a little bit. And now it's time for the light. And the light side is really not green. It's going to be white with some Cad Yellow Deep, maybe just a touch of green, not much. You know the object's green, so you want to paint green, but really look at it. And I'm not seeing any green there. So I'm going to add some white, Cad Yellow Deep. I'm going to paint the whole thing that color and then maybe add a little bit of green right over the top. Oops, I got some green on my knife. Clean brush. We're going to use a lot of brushes today. Okay, just a little bit of medium. I picked up some green, and I could say, whoops, I contaminated it, move on to something else, but you know what? Whatever. just put it down. That'll add just the spark that it needs. I'm not even going to worry about this pencil line because I think it'll get covered up by the dark on the other side. If not, it'll get covered up by the second paint application. Now, how am I staying out of this dark color here? Because you know, if you've painted before and you get close to a dark color that's still wet and then you start getting close and you make mud and it just looks terrible. Well, that's because I'm kind of like, I'm painting like I was a little kid that had food on their plate and they didn't want it to touch. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting just right up to it, but not crossing. Not crossing the line. And I'll add a little bit of light up top. Okay, now what I want to do is blend that together so that it's all harmonious and it all works. This might have too much paint on it. Let's see what we're doing here. I think the brush is too little to blend. I'm just going to go ahead and use this big one. There we go. All right, now I have to leave that alone, but that is starting to get some form. Now just, out of context, before you put the things behind it, it doesn't make sense. It looks kind of flat, but when you put the other things in place, it totally will. All right, so let's get some things down that quickly that'll help give this form. So let's get this brown made for this beam, or whatever that is back there. Everything in the background on this side of the picture is going to be really mysterious. This is going to be the center of interest. So let's quickly get that covered. And a nice way to make a nice brown, green and red. So I'm going to grab some of this green. Yeah, I'm just going to go right into it. Oh, that's beautiful. I think I need some more. Wipe my knife off. And is that dark enough? Yeah, I think so. Did I make enough paint? Nope, probably not. So I'm going to add a little bit of this and mix some more. Okay, that white made just a really grayed down version. And it's got to have a little more life for me, so there we go. A little more red. All right, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that's good. Now we have enough. And I think I'll still take that. No, it wasn't the right size. I was going to take the dirty green brush and use it, but it's not big enough, and I want to cover area quickly. So I'm going to take a stiff brush, medium, that's fairly large, and I'll fill this in. You notice I don't have any brown straight tube color in my palette. I make my own. I key it toward whatever I'm working on. Okay, so this start comes all the way down here. I could take a brush that will give me a little more control just for that one little area. So I think I will do that, because that brush was just a little too big for that. So I'm doing a little, God, this looks like a little helmet from World War II or something, the little top of this. Oh, that's nice. I like that color. Nice rich brown. Okay, good. Now I don't have to be careful anymore. I don't like having to be careful when I paint. I don't like having to be careful when I do anything. Okay, that's good. Pretty. All right, so that covered a lot really fast. I'll straighten my line out a little bit. And then throw in some of the color in the background too. This is good. All right, you know, I'm tempted to throw in some of this same color here in the dark areas of this beam, but it's going to be slightly different, so I think I would need to add a little more red to that. While I've got it out, I'm going to do that. So, you know, this painting, instead of a systematic approach, I'm going to be all over this thing. But if you want to take it one little area at a time, go for it. There's no rules. Do what feels good. Okay, and that same brush that I used for some of the detail work in here is going to be just the right shape because it's got a flat head to do some of this rustic wood grain stuff. Now normally, if I'd been really thinking about it, I would have put the light color down first and it wouldn't have been so messy. But no, I was just excited and painting, so that's what I put down. Let's see, so we got some more, what's going on here? We've got some more wood stuff going in here. This probably goes right here. Drawing some of that in. I'm going to lift this up so I can get down below. And that does look a little red in that shadow on the other side of that, so I think I'll throw in some more red there too. And it looks like this half is more rough-hewn than this side. And that's fine for the picture, but I'm going to change it in my painting. There. All right, so now I need to add the lighter color. That's probably a little yellow ochre, a lot of yellow ochre. Ooh, and some of this red. That is just, that is not one of my favorite colors. But sometimes things you wouldn't pick when next to something else, they really work. So let me add a little more red to this. Yeah, that's better. That was just a little too loud for me. And if it's loud for me, you know it's loud. Okay. So that's a good shadow side. That's good enough for that part. All right, I need to wipe my brush off again. I wonder if I could use straight. Well, let's put this in the shadow part first. It doesn't look that much different, but it is. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments. Okay, that's a nice shadow. And it goes under this. That whole thing is in shadow right here. Whoa. That's what happens when you put it up there and forget. Almost knocked it off the easel. Good thing I caught it before I said a word that was inappropriate. Okay. All right, so that's a nice shadow. And I'm going to grab some yellow ochre and some white. Oh, we've already got some of this over here. How does that look? That's good, but it needs a little red. It really does. It's not just because I like red. It really does. All right, and I just grabbed some green, and I'm going with it anyway. That might be a nice neutral. Oh, and it is. And why did that work? Why did this little happy accident work? That's because green and red are complementary colors. So that really made a nice neutral there. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm going to put it down. We'll see. A little bit of medium. This brush has more of a point on it, so I'm going to be able to get in some of these little places. Not get it too dirty. See, this is why, instead of putting the dark down first, the white might have been a better idea, the lighter color. That's okay. Yeah, it could be a little redder, but I'll hold off. Nah, I won't hold off. I'm going to add some more red. Because I just couldn't stand it. And besides, it gets redder as it goes around the corner here. Now I'm just going to go straight into the red since I made a mess over there anyway. Wow, it's not showing up. Come over here, red. There we go. That's better. Better put it down before I knock it over. I think I just need squirt some more red out here. Trying to find a clean area. Whoa. This is being stubborn. Okay. There we go. Now it's happy. And I'm going to blend, once I have this down, I'm not sure if I want to put that dark in next to it, but I think I'll do it, and I may take it out later. Right, for now I'm going to kind of follow the picture. I'm blending this in with this same brush. I'm going to wipe this off a little bit. Got to continue to put some of this down here as well. And we're going to leave this really rustic so that we can get the rest of the painting blocked in. And if we have time, we'll go back to it. Let's see what's going on under here. That needs to be lighter too, and some red. So I'm going to lift this up. That's good. Starting to make sense to me. Now I want this to kind of disappear back here, so I'm going to add some violet to this side, just to the right side. Like I said, it may or may not stay. I'm not sure. I have to tone that down. It is too bright. There we go. Might even need some blue. I'm not worried about doing a straight line. This is a rustic post. Adds character. I'm going to add some blue. I think it really needs to be cool and mysterious back here. You don't want to tell everything. Okay. Now I got to step back and see what's happening here. All right, that looks like something's going on. Okay, so quickly what I want to do now is really block in really soft, definitely mysterious shapes back here, and then focus on the form of the rest of this bell. So what do I need to do? I need a really nice neutral for back here, and of course some red for the door. So I will mix that. All right, so I'm going for the door first just because I need to paint some red. I haven't done any in a while. Okay, so that's more of a peachy. Let's add some red to this. Now that's way too bright. Even mixed with that ochre, it's too bright. And we want this to recede into the background. So I'm going to cool it down with some, first of all, with some cool red. That's pretty. May not be the color I want, but that's gorgeous. Ooh, I like that, but I can't use it. So sometimes you see a color and you're like, oh, this is just so cool, I got to put it down. And that's okay. And if you're going to rekey the painting and make everything fit to that color that you just had to have. So that's cool if you want to do that. Today I don't want to do that. It has to play well with others. And that one was like, no, I'm a diva. I want to be by myself. Oh. Okay, so what does this need? It needs to be grayed down a little more. So I'm going to add some green. I'm going to add a bunch of green. There. It has to be in the background. Yeah. Okay, a little bit warmer, just a little bit. There. That's what I was looking for. That's a nice neutral. And you guys know I don't do that many neutrals. Just enough so that we don't have screamers. Okay, so where is this? Well, it goes under here. Sometimes it takes a while just to find the right color. But it's worth the wait. Okay, so that comes under here. And it comes again on this side. We have to find all these little places. And down here a little bit. And then there's some more green too, but I don't want it to be the same green that's here. So I will alter it because it's back further, so it needs to be lighter and duller so that it recedes, because the bell's got to be the center of interest. I had my Italian grandmother had this bell in her living room, and well, I don't know about all Italian families, but in my Italian family, when everybody was over for the holidays and there was tons of people, or even for just Sunday dinner, it got loud. It got really loud, and so so whenever she wanted to call anybody for dinner, and it's not like she had to call people out in the field. This is like from the living room to the family room to just to the next room. She'd be ringing this bell, and everybody'd shut up and go eat. It worked. And when I saw this one, it kind of reminded me of that. And my grandmother was a good cook. Okay, so I'm going to do the lighter green. There we go. A little lighter and grayer. Right next to this one. Got to put this in. You know, at the angle, because the angle I took this, the door is just really off kilter, and it reminds me there's this place in San Jose, California called Happy Hollow, and they have these houses that the kids go play in that have slides and stuff in them, and they're all, well, if you had too many drinks, that's how the houses would look. It's just they look funny, and that's kind of what this reminds me of right here. They're just a little off. Of course, in person, if you didn't take the picture from the right angle, the building actually is not off. It looks really nice. I'm going to shut up while I'm still in trouble. Okay, there's that green. I like that. That's really cool. Okay, and then some green around the door. I'm using a little more medium on this part. There we go. I'm doing this quickly because I want to play with that cow. Oh God, I should have brought these in. I found the coolest toys online, and they're. I was looking for flying pigs, and there's these flying pigs, and they're stuffed animals, and you put your little hands in them, and they're rubber bands, and you pull it back, and then when you let them go, they're like a slingshot. When you let them go, they oink and they fly, and they are so much fun. I don't know what that has to do with the painting, but I just thought of that. Thought I'd tell you. No, they're not sponsoring me. It was just a fun toy. And I was going to give it to the grandkids, but I'm going to have to buy some for them because I'm keeping some for myself. Okay, I'm putting some dark colors here, a little dark, mysterious. It's like, what's going on in this building? Well, we don't know. But I want this to just be some dark. And the more you can scribble stuff in and just put it down, the cooler it is, because then shapes come up that you didn't even know you were trying to do. And then people start seeing all these cool things in your shapes, and you're going, yeah, I meant to do that. No, I just tell them, no, I don't know. It's just kind of what happened. It's cool. So that's what, in Windows, it's fun. You're free. You just throw a little color here, a little color there. All of a sudden, things start emerging. Actually, what's inside that building is really cool. It's rustic. The walls are done with old apricot crates. It's awesome. Okay, I'm adding a little light in here. Just some random color. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you put in. As long as it's not a screamer, it'll work. And you don't want the same color all over the place. You got to, mix it up a little bit. All right, let's just finish this part off. Oh yeah, that kind of looks like a person with a hat, and I know you're probably seeing things too. Maybe not, I don't know. Okay, so now we got this trippy little door going on with windows, and let's see, what else did we miss here? Now we'll just throw in some background. And then we can play with the cow. It's like dessert. Okay. No, that came out wrong. Okay, so I'm going to make some background. Ooh, that's pretty. I got really lucky. That was just right off the bat. God, I love it when that happens. Okay, what did I do? I took some of this nice little mocha color and added some white to it, and that is the siding color. It totally is the siding color, so that's what we're going to use. I'm going to use my, dirty red brush? Nah, better not. That could get me in trouble. Do I want a clean one? Maybe. All right. So I'm going to just put this. I forgot that I have this resting up here so you can see instead of down in the well where it goes. So if I push it and it falls and it scares the you-know-what out of me, you'll hear it. All right, I'm just, I'm not following I'm not going to put all the wood siding boards in here. Okay, I'm going to scrub hard to get rid of the pencil lines, so I had to put it in here. Otherwise, it would have been all over the place. All right, that's good. I'm just going to put in a few little choice lines where I need it. I think the value needs to be as dark, and what I mean by that is that we've got, this is really light, and these are more midtones, so it's got to be darker than it is. And so I am going to correct that, but first I'm going to cover everything up first. Scrubbing out some of the pencil lines. And this is where I could probably just use I'll stick a little paint in here, and I think there's a little right there. Okay, so now what I can do, I'm going to stand back and look at it, and yeah, it's got to be a little bit darker, otherwise it's not going to read right. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to add a little bit of this brown, and since it's already, let's try it. Yeah. That's good. And the boards are going this way, so I'm just going to keep the brush strokes going in the same direction. And I'll clean up that line after. First, you just go ahead and put the paint down. That's better. It's more harmonious. And I could lighten this up a little. Same thing with this. Okay, just going to tidy this up a little bit. I think I'd better blend that just a little bit more. Why? Because I won't leave it that way and it will bug me. There. All right, so I'm going to put the little dark lip. It's not a lip. It's part of the door frame. I'll stick that under here. And this side of it too is a little darker. So I just put a little bit of dark here. Okay, so you're getting a rough idea that there's a door or something going on back there. I still think this is too light, but I don't have a lot of time to play with that. I'm going to go ahead and work on the cow because I've been dying to do that. And if I have time, I will adjust that. So what do we want to do? Definitely a dark, medium, and light. I've almost run out of room on my palette. So we're going to consolidate quickly. We'll move the medium. All right, so I just need a bunch of white. And it's pretty messy up here. You have to make noises when you squeeze paint out. Did you know that? Uh-huh, you do. Watch. It comes out better that way. I heard that. Come on, just try making some noises. Okay, then add a little blue to it. There, that's a nice medium cow color. I'm going to go ahead and put in his gray areas with some violet, because I haven't used any purple yet and I was ready for it. There. Let's give this cow some soul. And you know, the cowbell has a cobweb on it. I never did ring it while I was there. I'll have to go back and try that. Let's see if this is dark enough. All right, where do I see some dark? Right in here. Oh, it's a lovely neutral. I can be quiet sometimes. Let's put in these shadows. Where else do I see? You know what? Under there is, that's part of the, well, we're going to keep going. Like, I keep discovering things like, oh no, I just need to keep moving. And this goes up here. There we go. I'm in part of the stage that has to be careful. We got some there. Oh, there's a little bit of green here, so that's perfect. Just instead of violet, there's this nice green shadow underneath. It warms up over there. Let's see what we have here. That's kind of a web. Let's see. I'm just throwing in this puppy down. We'll get this cow put in. I like that neutral. That's just nice. Okay. Mount that up so I can see what he's doing. He's got a little nose here. Most of this is in shadow. This is when the magic starts happening, hopefully. Okay, a little bit of red and a little bit of orange, just it warms up a little as you go around the side. And I'm going to throw in the light lights first before I lose them, because that will happen. I've done it before. Okay, I got to stop and put in some of the lighter lights and then put in the medium. So he'll start to have some form. But before I do that, I got to put in these rusty little screws. There. All right, let's add some soul to this puppy. Okay, so we want some of the lightest lights, which, you know, getting down to the end of the program, I'm just mixing with my brush, not even using the knife, contaminating my white. Okay, so there's light right here, light at the very top here. I am being careful right now to not get into that brown, or I'm fairly careful as I can be. You just paint things that are with your personality, and if it hurts you to be careful, then Don't paint things that make you do that. And if you love to be careful, well, then that's what you pick. Okay, so there's a lot of light here. There's some light here right under his nose. A little more right here. That's a little bit lighter. A little here. Let's find that mid-tone now. Put that down. Ooh, that's starting to work. Okay. Oops, I missed a spot. That's when you get two brushes. A little bit of light right here. And you know what? I think this is confusing down here. This little thing that's coming off, I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. It's got to go. There. Make your own world. Better put this down before I hurt it. All right, so I'm going to put some light here. And some light right here. He's starting to take some form. A little bit darker right under there. So this is definitely stage one of this. I think I'd paint in those webs too. It's a great way. So what we did today is we blocked in the darks, medium, lights on each little area. And then what you do is you continue to refine them. So it's the same thing. You just go into more and more detail to your taste. It's like adding salt. Okay, so now I have to step back, see where we are, and see what I want to do to finish it. And in some cases, the paint's just too darn thick. So, at the end of a painting session, I typically will scrape some off. And I know sometimes this hurts people to do, but if you decide to change your mind later as far as where you're going to put the paint, you don't have these hard edges to paint over. And what if you wanted to change the drawing a little bit? Now for me, of course I'm going to go back into it later, but I'm going to go back into it now, and it'll make it easier because I just was really putting it on thick. And that's not something I usually do. I usually put it on very thin. In fact, my teacher used to say you don't use enough paint, but I do. I just put lots and lots and lots of layers. Okay, so I'm standing back at it. And what I'm going to do is I want to punch up, I'm going to go ahead and punch up the darks here really quick. And you know what? This value has to be darker. It just does. So I'm going to take that violet, put that in. That's better because that's more harmonious with what's going on there. And that's going to make this whole thing pop too, being a little darker. Oops. Okay. That's better because it was looking like they were in different paintings, different planets. Okay, I like that. Also needs to be dark right under here, right under here. That'll help that pop. And what you do is you start cleaning up edges, making things tidy. Okay, how do we get some more form in this puppy? All right, so he's got a little bit of extra dark right under here. That adds some form a little bit right under here. All it takes is a little brush stroke. And you got to be brave enough just to put it down and leave it. The confidence comes with time. In my case, it took a lot of time. So I hope that through this session, you got a sense of, you get different set of textures, which really adds interest to a painting. You've got the play of warm and cool. You've got some nice soft edges. And so just to base a painting in and get something going, you get a quality of the space that's in between here. So I hope that you pick something that's really unusual and try painting it and give your own walls some soul. Thanks for watching. I'm Shannon Grissom.